What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to an all-new Control Freak Friday. Thank you all for joining me. Sorry for the slight delay in getting things started with the stream. I had to do like a restart, and then I was making sure I got all the posts up on social. Got my iPad charged so I can check in with the chat. But I'm thankful for you all joining today. It's the final Control Freak Friday of Beattober. And I hope that you all have had a good time during this Beattober. I know I have. It's a little bit bittersweet that it's coming to an end. I think the challenge of making beats and making videos daily, it's obviously a challenge. It's hard. It's not supposed to be all fun and games, though it was mostly fun and games, I would say, for me. And I'm excited for November, not because Beattober is going to be over, but because I can kind of refocus some attention. So this was a great little marathon we did for 31 days, but I'm excited to focus attention in different areas, play with new gear, do some more long form content instead of the short form beat videos and stuff like that. And maybe even more streams. It seems like y'all love the streams, so I want to do as much of that as possible. Oh my gosh, I forgot to turn the skull on. This is the whole thing. I was a whole mess today with getting ready for the stream, but it's fine. I see that you're all here. Thank you all so much. I saw somebody comment. I did change the stream title about beat reviews. I want to do beat reviews today. However, Instagram just today took away the ability to view recent hashtags, so I can't scroll through the Beattober hashtag and just grab all the recent ones. So this is going to get a little tough for me, but if you have a beat, listen very closely because these are important directions. If you have a beat video that you posted to Instagram that you would like me to check out, I cannot guarantee I'll check out all of them, but please post the Instagram link in the chat. I think that will work, and I should be able to copy and paste them and review beats as they go. But please populate the chat with those so I can do that because I can't hashtag surf today. Other than that, what else we got going on for Control Freak Friday today? Well, if you go to controlfreakclub.com and use the code FreakyFry, which I will type in the chat right now, FreakyFry, you will get 20% off. I'm just putting that code in there. Controlfreakclub.com, you can get 20% off all the merch there. I would like to plan a new design for when Black Friday is coming out, so be aware of that. I've got masks, hoodies, the t-shirt I'm wearing I'm about to pin to the top of the chat, but if you want to get a nice 20% discount, use the code FreakyFry. That's going to expire tomorrow since it is our final day, our final Friday of Beattober. I wanted to kind of celebrate and throw out a coupon code there. I can't find a place for this iPad to go so I can talk to you all and not be distracted at the same time. But yeah, take advantage. 20% off. Freaky Fry. But yeah, I see lots of you in the chat, so thank you all so much for being here. Let me just try to scroll back to the top. Arjun was here first. Redorian, what's going on? Nova Beats is here as well. Gilly Kimchi, what's up? Lucia. Yes, Lucia was very impatient for the stream to start, but we got there, Lucia. Don't worry. Jay, what's up? My mom is here. What's going on? Semik, Alan, PRK, hello. Red Syrup Music is here. Red Syrup Music's been putting in that work during Beattober. I know that. Who am I missing? I'm missing a lot of people, actually. Sammy Gamer is here as usual. Beisha is here. Beisha's got a really cool new Halloween beat video up on her YouTube channel, so you all should click her name and check it out. It's really dope. Rashab, I think I said that already, but hello. I think I'm caught up with chat. There's so many of you. Adrian, Fun Times with Maya, DJ Waxterito. I think I got that right. Chrono is here. Chrono, you used to be in the chat a lot. Am I right or am I wrong about that? Tyra White, hello. What's up? Are we catching you on your lunch break again, Tyra? I would love to know. That's awesome. Samuel Messiah is here. Samuel Messiah points out glasses. Yes, we were wearing glasses today because I was weeping that Beattober was coming to an end, so the contacts were just too much. Hollis TV says, great background. Thank you. I put in a lot of work to this set, and I'm thinking about switching it up, but you guys let me know. What do you think of the set? Should we change camera positions and all that? I don't know. I get picky. I really like the way it looks right now, but I'm always looking for some change. Of course, the Halloween decorations will go away when Halloween is over, but So Mario says, trying to learn how to make beats, and you came to the right stream, my friend Mario, because today even though I can't go and review beats the way we were doing it in the past, what I do have is my Akai MPK Mini here. I've got a blank Ableton slate loaded up. And what I think would be fun to do is actually go and open some of the projects from the beats this week that I made. And I can actually show you what went into kind of making some of those beats. So these are all labeled by day, and I don't really remember 100% which is which. So let me just try to load up 1028 here. Let me fix that as well. There we go. And let's see what we got. If you've been following along on my Instagram with Beattober, thank you. First of all, we just hit 50K. The Instagram family is growing, which I think is so exciting. So 100K on YouTube and then 50K shortly after. That was actually a goal for me for Beattober, was to crack 50K. But let's look at this project really quick. This is another Machina project. Oh, I gotta change my audio device so you all can hear it. Where are you? Oh no, my audio interface. I've got to unplug it, plug it back in. Hopefully I don't lose you or it doesn't mess anything up with the stream. Oh, my dad is in the chat as well. But thank you all. Thank you all so much for being here. Let me switch back here and just check OBS, make sure nothing got messed up. Y'all should still be able to hear me and all that. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we are good. All right, let me load this back up. Full screen, preferences. Are we showing up? Perfect. Here we go. Complete audio 6. We did a Machina Micro beat this week. So I love my Machina Micro. I don't use it enough, to be honest. This pattern in particular, is something that, you know, it goes to say like the different tools that you use influence the kind of music that you make, which is why I like to have so many different controllers, because that initial pattern with those rolls in there is something I would not obviously play on a keyboard. Dun, 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 dun. I wouldn't play that like that. So these drums are from Certified Gold, I believe. Cool. And just to show you guys how this works, I explained this in a previous stream, but how I work with Machina. And I'll jump into a different beat after this one because I like to show off the more MIDI and plug-in heavy ones. But I load up Machina as a track in Ableton Live, and it basically like is its own DAW within a DAW at this point. You can see this kind of looks like session view, which is what it is. I build up my patterns on each of the different instruments, and then I record them into their own separate tracks and process them all separately. Basically, I record the loops from Machina into their own tracks, and then I can work with them like I usually do. But that's pretty common. I really like this build up here. Boom. Let's go. I want to jump to another one that's slightly more interesting. We could check out the day before that. Like I said, I don't even remember what I'm doing. Save changes? No. Beisha says, any finger drumming tips for beginners? I tried it. It's quite difficult. Yeah. So there's a program called Melodics. While that's loading, I'll just go here. There's a program called Melodics, which is like probably the best software out there for like finger drumming training. I believe Gnarly, who's a really amazing finger drummer, I believe she told me that she used Melodics a bit when learning to finger drum. But it's basically like Guitar Hero. Like Guitar Hero, you got the notes coming down the screen, right? And you play, push them as they come in. It's basically like that, but for finger drumming. And there's like lessons based on grade level, not like traditional, not like, oh, if you're in first grade in real life, you do first grade in Melodics. But it is built up like grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. So like simple patterns to more complex patterns. And that's the same for like learning any instrument. You always have to start with simple material and simple exercises and then get into some deeper stuff. But I can get into talking about that a little bit as we go into this project here. What do we have? Oh, this was a fun one this week. Piano based. I believe I heard some track that had Jhené Aiko on it, and it heavily influenced this track, which if y'all haven't yet, well, I'll talk about that later. Let's get into the project a little bit. I can show you guys the plugins I use. Different types of harmony in this track for sure than I normally use, like a different kind of chord progression. Gets a little busy here at the end for my taste, but nice, a nice clean 50-ish seconds, right? So we've got a really basic piano here, and you will notice that I'm using a lot of Native Instruments stuff in this project. Not that this is sponsored or anything, though they do hook me up with stuff all the time, so I'll say that. But this is another instance of running Machina. I'm not running it because I'm using the controller, but I'm running it because I want to access the sounds in the different Machina kits that I have, that they have been so nice to hook me up with. So I've been diving into those a little bit more. Like if I need a different sound, I just search in a different sound library. But other than that, I record everything like usual in Session View, just basically using that Machina plugin for the sound. One thing I'll point out here is there's actually two basses, if we count the 808 as a bass, right? There's this. Very short staccato bass line. But it's not in the way of the 808. You can hear that when we play them together, they're characteristically different enough so that we can still hear both of them, and they serve two different purposes. The 808s are long, drawn-out notes. The little staccato bass line here is, it's short, it's snappy, it's driving. Sidechain to hell, yeah, that's true, Adrian. The 808 is probably sidechained a little too much here. Usually I pull back on it. I probably just was in a rush that day or something. But just a little bit, especially so those tails get caught by the kick, because I want that kick to cut through too. If I got a bass and then an 808 and then a kick, that's already a pretty deep kick right there. But, these are just little minute ideas. It's not really mixed to perfection by any means at all. But yeah, fun little chord progression there. That was fun. Let's answer that finger drumming question though. Let's talk about finger drumming a bit, because I wonder if I have access to all the samples that I need here. Yeah, let me rearrange these a little bit. Actually, I'll duplicate this so I don't mess up my project. So I'm going to just rearrange the kit a bit so that I can actively play these pretty easily. I put that there. Yep. And I go here. Awesome. I'm going to delete the clips out. I can run with a click drop. All right. So what do we got here? We got our kick, clap, snare, another snare, some hi-hats, open hi-hat, two closed hi-hats, and an open hi-hat. All right, let's talk through some basic finger drumming and some patterns. So the easiest thing for you to do to figure out what kind of drum patterns you want is to really, really listen to some tracks that you like and figure out what kind of drum patterns they're using. I'm at 92 BPM, but I might bring that down a bit, right? Let me bring it down to 72. I could go really slow. We could break this down for real. We want to do a basic pattern. Let's do kick on 1 and 3, snare on 2 and 4. And if you're unfamiliar with like the metronome and all that, this high click at the beginning is the downbeat. That's a 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're just going to keep in mind those cycles and the beats 1, 2, 3, and 4, beat 1 being marked by that high pitch click. So if I let that roll, I'm going to just do a basic pattern, kick on 1, snare on 2 and 4, kick on 1 and 3. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. That is your most basic pattern. But what if we add some more hits in there? 1, 2, 3, and 4. You notice that I say and there. What we are doing is dividing time into equal pieces. And let me see if I'll pivot to a way to show you that in Ableton Live, actually make a new clip. Do I know how to do that? Of course I do, right? All right, so in Ableton Live, we have beats, right? This is a clip here, a 1-bar clip. You can hear the click go as the line goes. We have beats 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can see it's 1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. If this was a 2-bar loop, if this was a 2-bar clip, oh, that's not what I want. I want to just duplicate it, actually. Cool. Now that we've duplicated, why, you know, work. It's not doing what I want it to do. If I extend this, okay, so if I manually extend this to be a 2-bar loop. Okay, now we have bar 2, that's what the 2 stands for, and then 2.2, 2.3, 2.4. Okay, hopefully this isn't getting too dry for you all. But as that goes on, it'll say 1, 2, 3, and so on and so on. The decimal points represent the beat. Now, it gets a little bit more complicated as we zoom in because you'll see more decimal points reveal themselves, but we're going to ignore that for now. But what I was getting to was the and. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. If we divide that again and split that into more equal parts, like basically drawing a line here and a line here and a line here, we're going to call that and. So we're going to call that and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. See, we're really just dividing rhythm over time. We're dividing up time into equal chunks. So as you can see, I started playing that on the hi-hat. So we can add a little more interesting thing to our very basic pattern, right? Give myself a little count in 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2, 3, 4, 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you can see once your brain is working in those cycles and counting those beats, you can subdivide in your head. So not only do you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. But what if we add a little more interesting things into the kick drum, right? What if we throw a little and? Like this. 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And then it just gets even more interesting. And as I want this to be super basic, I don't want to go too deep into finger drumming today. But what it gets into is you can subdivide that even more. And then you can subdivide things in really creative ways, like with triplets. And that's a little bit more advanced for folks. But as you start playing with that rhythm, that very, very basic rhythm, and you understand really the core, strong beats and ands, you can start adding in things with more interest. Like instead of a kick, you can add an open hi-hat. Now, if you're practicing this, I'm at a very slow tempo here. You might even want to go slower. But as you're practicing this, bump your BPM up as you go. When you get really, really comfortable playing a very basic rhythm, bump it up 10 BPM or 5 BPM. So I just went to 82. So you can see with that snare, I was doing a fill. I was still playing in time, but I'm hearing that subdivision in my head. And I heard that fill before I played it. I imagined it in my brain before my fingers landed on the pads. As you get more and more into it, crank up that speed. Let's go back up to 92. I think I was getting a little off time there, but you get the point. One of the reasons that I put 2 closed hi-hats on here is sometimes it's a lot easier to play 2 pads like that than it is to just drill into 1 pad. And then also you can use 2 slightly different samples to add a variation to your pattern. Hi-hats can get very stagnant. So if we play that metronome again. So as you can hear that, like that's very, very basic. We just broke that down into a way that hopefully you can understand with subdividing beats. You hear those strong beats, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now divide that in half using the word and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So there's that. And then if we want to subdivide 1 further, this actually sounds kind of funny. We say 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a. So we're going even deeper, adding more syllables in there, but hopefully that funny phrase and those syllables help you understand the subdivision of the time and helps you find a place for all these different hits in your beat. 3 and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a. So that was helping me visualize in my head that hi-hat pattern. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Messy right there. But, you know, think about those things. Think about subdividing those beats, etc. Am I missing some questions? A couple of people said, yeah, use Arpeggiator or use note repeat, which you could do. And what some folks are talking about, actually, let me show the controller, is that some controllers have a note repeat function that make this way easier. And I do use that on occasion. Basically, just hold the pad down and you can, you know, play your beats. And something I also show off all the time is using an arpeggiator. I don't think that you should use this in place of getting better at finger drumming. I think that there are some things that I would rather play in and some things that I have no problem using a hi-hat for, especially a simple driven hi-hat pattern. So as you can see, I dropped the arpeggiator right on that closed hi-hat sample, and I can mess with the rate, right? So if I don't want to sit there and bang out that drum pattern, here we go. It's very, very simple. The other thing that's helpful for are like rolls that are pretty impossible to play. Not impossible, but like I'm not going to play a 30-second note like stutter like that live. So instead, what it ends up looking like is this. Instead of playing those patterns, you end up just holding the notes, which is fine. I'd use it for a lot of things, but not all the time. Sometimes I like to just play in all the rhythms, play in all the perks, and even if after I play in all that stuff, I might use a hi-hat loop on top of it anyway. So that was fun little finger drumming demo there. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If there's any questions, let me dig into the chat and see if there are any questions. I'm thinking about adding more stuff, like more overlays on the stream. So hopefully I can get chat on stream at one point so y'all can see the questions that are coming by. But how about this? If you did have a question, I didn't really answer it, and it was relevant to what we were talking about, please go ahead and drop it in the chat again. That's fine. If you're going to ask me about a MIDI controller, though, there are 100 videos out there, including mine. Holla TV says 808 kick, please. I don't know what you mean. Use arpeggiator. Arjun says use arpeggiators for 30-second beats or those short snare hits in trap music. Yeah, that's another thing. I didn't mention that. You can not only use the arpeggiator on that drum, on the hi-hats, but we can use arpeggiator to do fun stuff with the snare. So I have the snare right here, right? Cool. Let's make it into a roll. That's a very simple roll. And maybe we can mess with the pitch now. If I turn the steps up, the steps that it's going to arpeggiate through, you know, pitch-wise, Hear that? That's going way up out of our hearing range because it's at plus 12 semitones and it's going up 6 steps, so it's going crazy high. Let's go down instead. That's fun. Mess with the gate so the sample's short. Simple. Fun ways, fun things to be had with that arpeggiator beyond just the rhythm. You can mess with that pitch stuff, but I got a whole video on that, I'm pretty sure. Or I did like an Instagram reel on it too. What are we about to get into next? So you guys saw that project. Should we start making some beats? Start fresh? Let's get it. Open fresh to a new live set. Nope, we don't want to save that because I messed with it a lot. Marib, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. The kind words. And thank you all for tuning in to a Control Freak Friday. I pinned some merch to the top of the chat. This shirt that I'm wearing right now, that's what's pinned, but there's a bunch of other very, very cool designs at controlfreakclub.com that if you use the code FreakyFry, you will be able to get 20% off. And let me just put that in the chat real quick before I forget it. Use code FreakyFry at controlfreakclub.com. Boom. 20% off. Is that the percent sign? No. I can't even type a percent sign. Thank you, Adrian, for putting that in the chat for me. Ariana Grande's new album came out today. You all should go listen to it for sure. Especially aspiring beat makers out there. She has some really good like some kind of mix between R&B, trap style, very, very good beats on that album. I'm only like halfway through it so far, but let's make something that's semi-inspired, not fully inspired, by the queen herself. I'm going to use Serum today. I've been using Serum a little bit more lately. Oh, by the way, the code for a free month of Splice, if you're a new user, if you haven't used Splice before, expires at the end of this month, and I kept that in the description as well because they sponsored a week of Beattober beats, which is really great of them. I'm going to use this preset kit I have here. Let's maybe find a cool sound to start with, and let's arm the track so we can hear it. Yeah, I like this. I end up using these sounds a lot, but let's go for it. That's close. I like using that kind of chord progression. Connor Edwards says, "Hey TAETRO, I know you did just an explanation of basic finger drumming. Do you have any favorite finger drummers you follow?" Yes. The Frenetic, THEPHRONETIC on Instagram, the Frenetic. Go check them out. And then Gnarly Beats. Two really epic. Gnarly with a G. GNARLY. Gnarly Beats on Instagram. Check them both out. They're fire. Amazing finger drummers. I mean, beats by Jay Black. He's freaking amazing too. Like, how could I not? What tempo are we going to be at? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. That is the tempo in my brain today. What's that last chord I'm looking for, chat? Not C minor. So you guys can get a kind of a look at what's going on down here. Whoa, Rev Saves in the chat. Thank you for joining. So as I'm coming up with this chord progression, let me just kind of walk you all through what I'm thinking as I'm doing it. I'm playing a minor chord, right? I'm starting on A minor, A, C, E. We're gonna get a little instructional today, guys. I don't know why, I'm just feeling that. So I'm doing A, C, E. That's a basic minor chord. Nice way to spice up your chords and add an extension to them, make them sound a little bit more advanced, is just to add a seventh. So we have 1, 3, 5. If we add one more note on top of that, that G, we got a 7 chord. Then I'm basically just picking up my hand, moving it down to F, playing almost the same exact position. Let's give me another F7. Cool. And it's not just playing different chords, it's also the order in which you play the notes, right? So here I'm playing all these chords in root position. The bottom note is the name of the note, A minor, F, then I'm going to play an E, still keeping a 7, an E major. But if I want to return back to that A minor, I'm not going to play it in the 7th version. I'm not even going to play the notes in the right order. I'm actually going to put the E on the bottom and then have the A and the C here. That's called an inversion. This is the same chord. A, C, E. This is E, A, C, but it's still an A minor chord. You see how it has a little bit of a different feel to it. Should we record that? I think we should. Let's see how many takes it will take me to do that here. So this is the typical way I start working, right? I'm going to start recording an empty clip slot here. Close. Awesome. So there I played it for a bit. I was kind of like not quite on it with some of those notes in that first 8 bars, but for the second 8 bars, we're pretty on it. I am, of course, still going to use quantize because I'm not trying to be too free floaty. And let's just square that up. So this first take, I don't really need it. So I'm just keeping the 16 bars that I did play. Let's crop that clip now. You see I quantized, but it's not 100% quantized. My settings might be off actually. Shift U. Oh yeah, I was doing something fast yesterday, so it's at 30 seconds. I'm gonna bring that down to 16ths because this is a very basic pattern, but I am gonna leave this percentage at like 75%, so it's not completely locked in. Christian Burl says, put phases on it. I love that plugin. I don't know what phases is. You should tell me about it. Let's try to stay in that pack for now. I might try to grab one of the 808s from it, or I might bounce out and grab my own 808 preset. So all I did was duplicate that Serum track because I want to stay in Serum. And let's go ahead and find that Ariana Grande pack. And there are a few 808s in here. That's too high. Justin, I was quantizing at 75% here, but it's different for every project is different. That's so. I actually used that in the beat that came out today on my Instagram. 808.3. That's very deep. I might try it. Let's see if it works well with the pattern though. Might go up. Yeah, And let's just point out here, the notes I'm playing are not random. I'm following that progression that we laid down with the chords. So we were playing an A minor, an F, an E, and then another A. So I'm going to follow that pattern with my 808s here. But again, you're going to see me bounce to other notes. Keep in mind the chord, right? A minor, I can bounce to E, which is my 5th, and it'll sound good. And that note right there, that little G sharp, is the 3rd in the E major chord that I'm playing. So I go bum, 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 leads me right back up to our A, which is our tonic, our A minor. Shall we record that? A little off rhythmically, so I will quantize. Rev Zabes, you are so right about the 808 game. Like I was not using 808s for the longest time. Like as early as 2 months ago, I was not using 808s. And then one time on stream, I was just like, I want to level up my 808 game. And I was like, boom. Lucas says, I think you should make a music course. Lucas, tell me what would be in that course. What would make you want to get a course like that? It might be time for drums. I'm gonna switch to just my face for a moment because I know I don't have this set up right to open Splice, where I'm gonna grab my drums from. Boom. Cool. Let's grab some samples. A lot of people in the stream today, so I want to take a moment and thank you all for being here today. We're making a beat, Control Freak Friday, celebrating Beattober. Folks have been participating in the challenge, making a beat video every single day for the past 30 days. Over 3,000 posts in the Beattober hashtag on Instagram. Amazing. All right, let's grab a kick. This is my process. I open Splice and I pick the same kicks every single time. Pretty much. But maybe for this, I'm having trouble imagining Ariana's kicks at the moment. I think that'll do. Let's also just find some snares. She usually has like kind of a typical trap snare thing happening. And the Murda Beats pack is perfect for that. I might grab that just to have fun with. Might not fit the vibe of the track, but we'll see. Yeah, some growth for me for Beattober is like getting better at my 808s, growing the audience to 50K on Instagram, and also learning that not everything needs reverb on it. So I've been using a lot of dry drums. Some of you might have noticed that shift in style for me. There's a lot going on here. So this is the kind of track which I talked about before, where I'll probably end up using a hi-hat loop instead of playing in hi-hats. I'm going to lay down a basic backbeat with this kick and snare situation that I'm building, and then we'll be good. I'm just throwing in a bunch, right? So I'm grabbing a bunch of samples. I don't know which one I might want to use. I will want to use a clap, and I like that clap even though it's 2 hits. So let me shrink it up. Okay, so now I have a full like set here. Let's see how this is gonna go. Something like that. You see how I went from playing something like a little more dense with a lot more hits to something a little more simpler. So I pulled back because I don't want it to get too cluttered. It's just like a stylistic thing. We don't have to put in everything. Just because we have all these samples doesn't mean we have to use them all. but can I use them strategically so it still sounds good? I'm just gonna try to lay some stuff down here. Give you guys the keyboard view. Missed it. Yeah, something like that. Let's grab the last 8 bars of that and give it some quantize. I think those fills were okay. So close. Quantize will help us. Oh, quantize will not help us. Let's try that again. I could just record it again. It's I do find myself usually in this space between, you could either try and fix your mistakes, like technically in the computer, or I'll keep that, I guess. You can spend like an agonizing amount of time trying to fix a mistake in the computer, whereas if you just spent the time and played it again and like did another take, it would be 10 times better because you would get it right, and you have to put in the work anyway. And I find that the work of just playing it in over and over again is less mind-numbing than correcting in the computer. I actually want to switch this hit to something different. I'm going to keep this fill in this half. I want this to repeat. And I'm going to not do a fast fill at the end. Just to create some variation. All right, that should sound fine. The first thing, Gilly Kimchi, I'm not trying to avoid using quantize. I'm trying to play the idea in as best as I can without needing the quantize. It's not that there's anything wrong with quantize, but especially like if I'm going to make a video for this track, or if I'm going to perform this track, or whatever it may be, I need to be able to play it, or else you guys are going to be like, what the heck? What his fingers are doing do not match what's actually happening on screen. So that's my thought about it, but I don't care. I have no qualms over people playing in, people drawing in, people whatever. For me, for video, it seems particularly important. You might not make videos. We're starting right away here with the quantize, with the sidechain. See what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about quantize all day now. What did I just... Yeah, okay, I did that right. I'm going to put that as the last thing in the chain. Control C. I am sidechaining the 808 again. I feel like that 808 needs a little more beef to it. I might add a little bit of pedal. Is that what I want to do? Listen to the difference. So much more robust. With a touch of gain and pulling back on the dry wet. Check that sub button. I think that fits a lot better. Let's save this project before we get too crazy or the computer shuts down. Let's just call this 1031. Falguna, I talked about it earlier in the chat, but I might not be able to check out beats today because Instagram removed the feature where you could look at the recent view of hashtags. So that is unfortunate. You cannot can't go to the Beattober hashtag anymore and look at the most recent posts. You can only look at the top posts. And when I do that on my computer, it only shows me my beats from last year. because they were out a year ago. So they obviously have much more engagement. So they get put at the top of the thing, which is unfortunate. Let's add a layer to this, like something on top. BitPlay says, can you show us your plugin list? Sure. Let's go to plugins. What do you want to see? What do you want to see? I hope there's nothing in here that is a secret. I don't think that there is. And if there is, well, I guess that's the easiest way to look. But what do I have from Acusonus? Oh, like Beatformer and Regroover. I don't really use that. MPC Beats, don't use that. The sample manager from ADSR is dope. I don't use it enough. Arturia, I have tons of Arturia plugins. They're very nice. Most of the plugins get sent free to me, so full disclosure there. Cool. And Cable Guys, I use Halftime. Maybe we'll find a use for that today. It's very fun. Expressive E. They have very cool like MPE style stuff. This is kind of rolly stuff. FX Expansion, Isotope, Nectar 3, which I used on my vocals on a beat that I put out last week. Tons of Native Instruments plugins. Love Native Instruments stuff. It's not all installed because it takes up so much hard drive space. Serum, obviously. Waves, I have the gold bundle, like I got it on sale. So I have tons of Waves plugins. I use the real-time auto-tune a lot. I also use the doubler a lot as well. Where did you go? Well, it's in here somewhere. The doubler, yep. Doubler 4 can add like 4 voices, and then de-esser as well. That's about it. I don't think I'm missing anything. That's the plugins. Thank you, Dark Side. Glad you're liking it. We're gonna continue on with the process. So the chords, they're sitting somewhere in like the middle of the frequency spectrum, middle to low. The 808 is obviously your rock bottom, and the drums are the drums. So now I'm looking for a synth that can float on top of all this. That's a little too thick, like it clashes too much with the chord instrument. Laguna, I'm sorry to say, I don't think it's happening today. I don't have the access to that. It might not. Oh, you want to know why, Falguna? That is probably the reason that they changed the hashtag thing on Instagram is because of the election, and they don't want false information getting out about the election. So they took away the recent hashtags, and it's likely only in the US. So if you live in a different country, you can probably look at recent posts, but I cannot, unfortunately. I don't love it. I don't love this sound. I don't love that sound either. These sounds are a little bit too dirty. I think a pluck, yeah. The other thing is too, I'm kind of I'm looking for something to layer on top of this, but I also have like a vocalist in mind for this track, so it's hard to leave room for that, but also build it up as like a proper beat. Fazil Kareem says, can you share some of your favorite Serum presets? Sure. So in Serum, like I said, I'm lucky enough to get a lot of things for free. I paid for Serum, but a lot of these packs that I have, I did not pay for because I work with ADSR a lot. And ADSR, their website is ADSR Sounds, if you're interested. Like, they have a lot of different packs from different producers, and I get them, and I was making beat videos for them for a while. So this one is an Ariana Grande type kit. It's not the proper name, but this producer right here, Ghost Project, I think is how you say it. Ghost Project. Yeah, it's spelled wrong here. I think he's the producer. Yep, behind these packs. So check that producer out, and also check out ADSR Sounds where you can get it. Not sponsored. Was sponsored at one point. Gave me the plugins for free, but I use them. And if you want to check them out, you should. Yeah, it's not doing it for me, my friends. Not doing it for me. All right, I think I kind of know what I want to do. Let's take a look at it and let's just do some takes over it. No, I want to scoop up to the root like that. You guys want piano cam? Not that. So close, but I'm not really getting what I want. Here we go. Oh, I gotta get rid of that clip. Let's try this again. I'm gonna play with that G sharp there. Nope, that ain't it either. Here we go. I'm so close. This is what happens sometimes, chat. We can do it. So close. That's it. Oh boy, I'm so sick of playing that. Here's another reason not to fully rely on quantize, because this phrase has like that little scoop thing going on. Look at that. try to quantize that, it ain't gonna work that well. So we have to be very particular about how I do want the notes to be locked in, and I know I didn't play it perfectly. So I'm gonna go into the sections of notes that do not have that little scoop. Like these are fine. And I can quantize those individually. I can definitely quantize the downbeats, but I'm just gonna leave those scoop notes alone. No, I want the second half of this. For some reason, I could not realize that I didn't want to play. I didn't want to play G A. I wanted to play A C. And you want to be aware of these little notes at the end of your loops. If you're playing something as a loop and you play it on to the next bar, but you're going to end up, cropping it and not using this beyond portion, this note sometimes comes through. Like if I look at it, zoom it in, that we're going to hear that note. It's going to be like a double hit. This happens to me all the time with kick drums too. So we get a little you can barely hear it, but it's a little double hit that makes things really messy sounding. So just be aware of that. If your quantize is not so rigid like mine, you have to kind of go in and fix that. All right, chat, how do we feel about this so far? And the other half of that, what I just said, is that last note was actually supposed to be the first note, and it ended up getting cut off. So let's go ahead and draw in another A there, because we deleted the one we need. Now this does not need any low end in it at all. Look at the EQ. It's got stuff here for no reason. And this is seems to be the fundamental frequency here, but I might. There's something. As we scan through, we're looking for frequencies that bother our ears. That's a little too gritty. Pull back on it a little bit, but if I pull out too much, you see that it totally transforms. It's not good. But we can get rid of everything under there because we don't need it. That is probably the same thing for these chords, which have oh my gosh, look at that. They have so much potential to get in the way of our 808s, to get in the way of our kick in a way that we don't even hear. Get it out of there. Can you guys even hear the difference? I can hear the little thud that I really couldn't hear before. I wasn't paying attention. Woof. I'm gonna pan this. Doesn't need to be so dead center. And it might need a little more rhythm. Alright, what am I missing, chat? What am I missing here? What are y'all talking about? Thank y'all for joining today, Control Freak Friday. Glad we got a good crew here. I hope you are having fun. If you are having fun in the chat, let me know. If you want to see more streams, let me know. I'm thinking about streaming more often now that Beatober is over. Jim Corzelius, thank you so much for the 100K sub. Congrats. Thank you. Yes, thank you all. Recommend a free cheap autotune? I have no idea. There's a Max for Live device in Ableton that's free, I think. Well, it comes with Max for Live, so it's not free. Yes, glad you all are enjoying it. Yes, thank you all for the kind words. Very nice thing. RevSape says gonna be humming that riff all night now. Hopefully it doesn't annoy you too much. Balguna, any tips for live stage performances with MIDI controllers? Yes, please go enjoy my whole channel. Patrick, you didn't miss the stream, you're here. Lucio says try a Rhodes. I don't know if a Rhodes would really fit in this track. So we pull out some of those mids and the keyboard becomes a lot less heavy. I think that these snares need to be put in check as well. All right, I'm feeling that. Yeah, Jim, this is a Bluebird microphone. Let's go ahead and maybe do, actually, I think it needs like a vocal shout in the drums. I'll show you all what I mean. Let's type in shout here. Decap makes like a ton of them.
Feel this.
Hey!
Whoa!
I think that is the one that I'm looking for, so let's figure out where that fits. Yeah, right there. Not there. Alright, and we gotta pull way back on that. And I will give it a little fade in as well. It's a little abrupt. Maybe pitch up. Not that much. Yeah, you can call them trap chants. I think are more like the Atlanta thing. But these are, yeah, shouts is the general word for them. Now I'm hearing it like in tune. I'm just gonna not play with it. I'm gonna keep it in that key. Yeah, let's throw a hi-hat sample on this. Simple trap hi-hat loop would be good. Go here, go to loops. That's not gonna be it. Ooh, that has some cool stuff in it, but I don't think it'll fit this track. Or I'm just wrong. But what I'm realizing as I add those hi-hats in is everything that is not the snare that hits on the 2 and 4, the main snare, which I'm gonna make a special color so I remember it, needs to come down. Every other snare needs to come down. This is not gonna work the way I want it to. Oh, it is. Give this the old sidechain treatment. Let's not let it get too buried. We're gonna widen it with vocoder as usual and see how that sounds. I actually might not use the vocoder because I kind of like how the loop is sounding on its own. Obviously we don't want it that wet. Just a slight big difference. And I wonder if even giving it a little bit of I think that's good. Cool, cool, cool. What is this track missing, chat? I don't know. Could it be that it's just this simple? We could try to throw like the traditional TAETRO vocal sample on here, right? And we'll get out of searching for loops and we'll look for one shots. I just get so bored with all the vocals that I already have. I get all these creepy samples that are not what I want.
Make him go up in.
I don't.
Okay. Come on, Splice. Help me out a little bit. Have I found all the good, like, singing one-shots?
Let me see.
feel like I have a million samples that are that exact same thing, but in the interest of just trying to find something, let's do it. Says it's a, what? Oh, I do that all the time. I download the wrong sample. Okay. Got this little G sharp here, I guess. You know what? Let me add a little bit of character to some of these sounds first. Like this sounds good, but it also sounds a little too clean. So what if we put chorus on it? I think that's doing it for me. And I do believe that this lead needs something as well. We haven't even added the mastering chain on yet, obviously. Am I just gonna put chorus on everything? It's basically how we're gonna go here. I do want to bring the lows down a little bit. And we might add some piano into this track. I think chorus on those two elements really help to widen stuff a little bit. But yeah, I was thinking about that because I think I'm going to want to make this pretty wide, in which case I will throw on the doubler from Waves. Let's find it. Doubler. If I use doubler 4, the S stands for stereo. 4 means 4 voices. Diego Reyes says, have you used the K-pop chants on Splice? I think it's called Girl Crush. I didn't know that it existed, but Diego Reyes wins the chat today. Lucia, piano, you're right. I think we're gonna add piano after this. Uh-oh. What happened? Live doesn't like me. Yeah, this has been happening randomly. Yeah. Stream might be drawing too much power. Let's try to connect again. I might have to restart live if it doesn't work. But anyway, chat, as that sorts itself out, thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate y'all hanging for the stream. I am going to go ahead and unplug and plug back in my audio interface. I think the computer just gets a little too hot. Make it distorted, Dribble says. I think we're going for more of a clean sound here. I don't know. Maybe. Please. All right, I think we might be back in action here. Let's see. Guess not. Oh, we had live crash, my friends. Live crashed. Is there a video on your master chain? Adrian asks. There is not, unfortunately. I think I should make one soon. Yes, recover. Audio is disabled. But the interface says it's good. But yeah, sounds clean as F in this beat. Thank you, Wasabi. I'll allow that comment. I don't know how I can click allow. I think I did it. All right. We Ableton crashed, unfortunately. I'm gonna save the project because thankfully Ableton will generally always recover. And let's see if I can set the audio interface properly here. If not, we might have just killed it. If y'all have better insight, y'all heard that track and then it cut again. Very interesting. It's so sad it's broke. Doesn't make sense. Live quit unexpectedly. Yes, I see that. Thank you for letting me know. And then it crashes again. We'll try one more time. I'll try freezing some tracks as we get into it. On the description, it says songwriter for Red Velvet made the vocal pack. Oh, good to know. Good to know. If y'all don't know, me and my friend Joe started a K-pop and K-drama channel. We're currently watching Startup, and it's a fun show. And we do videos about K-pop and K-dramas, and you should go type it in. Type in Nick and Joe Blackpink on YouTube, and you'll be able to find us. But yeah. Loading up live again. Thank you all for tuning in. If you're just tuning in, thanks. If you haven't been in here since the beginning, we started the stream. What did we start by doing? I opened some of my projects from the week. And then also, let me go ahead and just freeze these CRM tracks for the moment. Y'all can't see my screen because I'm dealing with the tech issues. But yeah, we started with breaking down some projects, so you can rewind and go watch some of those. I also did like a very brief finger drumming and rhythm tutorial, like very, very basic breakdown of some stuff. If you wanted to get started with finger drumming and getting better at it, etc., you could eventually do that. Nope, my audio interface hates me today. What is it? One more time. But yeah, the computer totally is stressed about streaming. I think it's safe to say that. So what I'm doing is trying to set my audio interface so that it works, and it might for a moment, and then it might crash. Oh, it's playing. I just don't hear anything. Too bad, so sad. Samo says, I only know freezing and flattening. Yes, I don't know what that was in reference to. What is track freezing? So like freezing a track, it will, so say it's a MIDI track with a plugin running on it. If you freeze the track, it will not run the whole time. It will be frozen. So like if you think of like an instrument plugin or an effect plugin, every time that MIDI plays, it's processing it. It's taking up some CPU. So when you freeze, what it does is it like literally freezes that moment in time. It doesn't process it in real time anymore. It takes that snapshot of the one time it plays through as it freezes it, and it plays it like that. Yeah. This happened a couple streams ago as well. It's very, very strange. I'm gonna try one more time, guys, and then we might be done. Thank you all for hanging and tuning in, though. I'm gonna throw my be right back up screen. If y'all want to hang and chill as I try to troubleshoot this, you can. I would appreciate it. And then I'll be back and we'll try to finish up this beat. I think it was going in a cool direction. chat. Thank you all for being patient. Unfortunately, I'm trying 100 different things. It doesn't seem like it wants to get back up and running. For those of you who are wondering, I use at my desk Complete Audio 6, which is a pretty reliable interface. It's not the interface's problem for sure. And I know that because I just tried to plug in my Scarlett 2i2 and rig some situation where I could both monitor and send audio out to the stream, and just no luck. So we had a good stream today. Hopefully you can rewind and watch some of the parts that you missed. If you all want to stay in chat for a bit, we can do that. We can do a little Q&A chatting session. But I just won't be able to send audio out to you, unfortunately. But thank you all for tuning in and being patient as I try to kind of troubleshoot it. I'm going to try to figure out what happened because it's happened before. I think it's a computer power issue. So I think the best solution... Oh yeah, I got a service recommended thing showing up on my battery thing. It just draws too much, right? When everything is happening from the MacBook Pro, the streaming, and the Ableton and all of it. So I think the computer just struggles with that, and it struggles with where to allocate power. So it's not able to give the audio interface the proper power. But hopefully you caught the finger drumming little explanation at the beginning. Hopefully you caught the track breakdown, and hopefully you were able to take some value from what we talked about today with making this track that I am definitely hoping to finish soon because I really had a lot of good times. Mr. Bricks 999 says, I subscribed. Thank you so much. Let's see. TAETRO Falguna asks, have you ever performed with a band? I have performed with a band before when I was younger. Me and my friend Joe that I live with. He would play music with me, like for my songs, and then he had a full band that I played in as well. So that was fun. What else? Talking about interfaces, lots of fun stuff. Some good stuff says you may need to get a beefier MacBook Pro. You're right. But also I'm thinking about... I think this MacBook Pro is fine. I just think it's not meant to do all these things. So how can I set up I have a fairly decent PC that I could set up to be the streaming rig. And then from there, set up a separate computer instead of trying to do it all at once. Like just do Ableton, just do music production on the laptop, and have a separate PC for streaming. I think that would be the way to go. Scrolling through. Awesome. Great. Everybody's pumping each other up. That's what I like to see. Very cool. Yeah, but thank you all so much for watching. I think we're going to wrap it up for today. We've been live for a little bit over an hour, and there's a lot of nuggets of value in that stream. I think you'll be able to find. And if you tuned in late, don't worry. As we go off the stream, you will be able to tune in later and rewind and watch all that stuff. Yeah, this was a great stream. I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I did put up a video yesterday about bedroom home studio, so please watch that. If you watch that and you enjoy it, make sure you like it. Leave a comment on that video. Say you came from the stream so I know. And all that good stuff. Check out the video. ControlFreeClub.com if you want to support. The more you support ControlFreeClub.com, the better equipment I can invest in so that the stream doesn't get messed up like this, all that good stuff. David, thank you for tuning in. RevSaves, thank you for holding it down as a mod. Beisha, thank you for spearheading that conversation about finger drumming. I think it made for a good lesson to everybody. ControlFreeClub.com. Use the code FreakyFry. You can find it somewhere in the chat, but it's just Freaky Fry as in Friday. And you'll get 20% off. You can grab this t-shirt. You can grab my phone case. You can grab a mask. You can grab a hoodie, a t-shirt, all that good stuff. ControlFreeClub.com. Thank you all so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you all. I'll try to get in, if I can fix all this stuff, I want to do more streaming, like I said. So if I can get a weekend stream, possibly even a Halloween stream, I don't want to promise too much, but if we can get it in, we'll get it in. So make sure you subscribe with the bell rung with notifications so you know, because I'm not going to announce all the streams. I'm just going to jump in and I'm just going to go live. And if you have notifications on, you'll be in it. And we can do more just chatting streams too. I want to kind of expand what we do on stream. It doesn't have to all be making music. It can kind of be just like hanging out and all that good stuff. Yeah, but that's going to be it. So thank you all so much for watching. This has been TAETRO. Have a good one.